Okay, so we have a lot to catch up on. I have not posted in over a month. Let's just knock out the major things. One, I'm married now. Thank you. Two, I am really inspired by the trip that my husband and I took to Norway, and I've been writing music like never before. Like, I'm inspired, I'm excited, I'm trying to stay inspired, and I have never done a personal project before, and I'm hoping that it will turn into something more. But for now, let's just say I'm writing something like a winter travel inspired album. I don't know, we'll see. I got to record my music for the first time and hear my music played live by musicians for the first time. I got to perform with other musicians for the first time. That was insane, and I have to make a whole video about it later on. There was a lot of footage that was captured by Morgan's brother, Charlie, whom you'll probably hear about in a future video. But for now, just know I'm still here, just been busy, haven't had time to make content in the way that I wanted to this year. I'm not beating myself up, just kind of like letting you know I'm busy being a composer. It's awesome. For the rest of this video, I kind of just wanted to talk about what I've been learning in my work with other composers, creative matchmaking. If you don't know what that is, watch this previous video. It will explain everything. Basically, I've been kind of playing it by ear in terms of developing the service because it is so new, and I know not every composer is going to be like Mr. Zach Heidi. It's been a journey, and I have some things I want to share. So the biggest lesson was honestly, not every composer wants to play the long game. Some composers are just like in a different mindset in terms of how they want to go about starting their career or progressing their career. Some composers, it was a little difficult for me because they wanted things to just pay off right away. And the problem with seeing networking that way is that you put so much pressure on the outcome of the relationship that, like, all the things that it takes to get there, like building a real, relationship with someone, getting to know that person, meeting people that are, developing projects and not just waiting around for things to happen. Those are all things that take time. And one of the most, amazing things about the service is that it is tailored to each composer that I work with. And I've been using my science background to try and make things as concrete as possible. And one of those is measuring, the response rates that composers are getting from the emails that they send to the filmmakers that I've selected. And so far that has been above 50%, which is amazing. Most of these composers, they're not used to hearing back from people at all. And it's just incredibly rewarding to help other composers with something that comes very naturally to me. Although I may make it sound easy, the truth is I've struggled with the same things as any other composer. And I'll be the last one to say that I have it all figured out, but I do believe that I am onto something and that this service is something really special. Yeah, back to the main point. Not every composer wants to play the long game of like getting to know people, making friends. I don't think it's like their fault or anything, and I'm still trying to understand this more. But currently, my take on it is that they're kind of like impatient. They're either already had a music career and they just want things to move a little faster. They want to get on projects sooner, which is understandable. it's hard to work with composers like that, because even when we, get some small wins, like they get to meet filmmakers for the first time, you know, these filmmakers tell them, I have a project that I want to work with you on next year potentially. Like those are all things that lead to work. And it's really difficult to work with composers who are impatient, because they can't really appreciate that as much as I would hope they do. I think that they value different things than me, which is okay. They might value efficiency. Like usually the kind of questions I get from composers like this is, how can I send more emails? Like, do I get faster at this? In other words, like, how can I increase input to get more output faster? And this service is not for people like that. I'm still learning about, the different tools that are available nowadays to make this easier for myself and to really help me make more intelligent decisions in terms of like picking the right filmmakers, and also just having a way to look at the big picture of like, out of all the filmmakers that have submitted to this film festival or have uploaded their, films to this YouTube channel, like out of all of these artists, like what are signs that someone is, ambitious and good to work with? Things like that. Like, how do you assess quality in a potential collaborator before you reach out to them? And then what would a composer respond really positively to if, like, I chose a filmmaker with this set of criteria versus this set of criteria? Like, these are things that I'm starting to think about because of this service. And it's pretty insane. Like, I met this one guy. I won't tell you his name, but basically I am starting to learn like what a unique and like insane business idea like this is. And I'm starting to hear from composers who have like agents and managers that like they don't do this work, and they feel like their agents and managers are kind of just like a waste of time. And it's just kind of mind-blowing, because I used to think that anyone who had an agent was just like getting work all the time, but that's not true. And it's not my place to speak on that, but just thought I'd let you know what's like been going through my mind. The second big thing I really learned was that it was smart of me to guarantee relationships rather than gigs. And I made this really, really clear to every composer that I've worked with / am working with. And nearly all of them, understood why I did that. It's really hard to guarantee work. And apparently in California, that's kind of what being an agent is. You guarantee work to someone and take a commission. And I experimented with this a little bit, but with the amount of work for me that like goes into, watching movies, finding the filmmakers, finding contact information, falling in love with their work, and thinking about which composer makes the most sense for that filmmaker, all of that is work, right? So working on a commission and having an opportunity that a composer must say yes to, or I don't make anything, that is a lot of risk for me to take on. But on the other hand, for a composer to pay me, a certain amount every month and not have a guarantee of a project, that is also a risk. So it's been kind of like a learning curve to figure out, what is that number for this amount of filmmakers, and, does that necessarily mean I should work on a commission rate? And I'm honestly leaning towards no. And I know when I first talked about this service, I was already in that space of like no commission rate. And I think this is starting to confirm that. I think the fact of the matter is, a lot of composers would rather not deal with the work of like sifting through tons of filmmakers and wasting their time on like dead ends. And if they could pay someone to take care of that for them, they would. And that's why this whole thing is happening. The third thing that I learned is that it is actually mandatory to get to know the composers that I'm working with. And I experimented a little bit with just delivering the filmmakers, the profiles, the research that I did, and just being completely hands off. And I learned that actually getting to know the composer on a deeper level, getting to know, their life story, their preferences, their taste in art, music, film, those are all things that actually really matter and help me get into the shoes of that composer and make a better decision. I guess what this really comes down to is like, how do I pick artists that resonate with the composer that I am working with? And working with Zach actually taught me a lot about that. So, Zach, if you're watching this, thank you, man. I learned so much. But just listening to a composer's music is not enough information for me. I think in the beginning, I thought, if I could just find the right genre, the right kind of story for a composer, then it'll all work out. But the truth is, a successful collaboration is so much more than that. I think the chemistry that a filmmaker has, and whether it aligns with a composer, is really important. I've learned that filmmakers who have YouTube channels or create content about their journey, like behind the scenes stuff or whatever it is, like they are a lot easier for me to kind of understand and imagine with a composer. It's hard to just go off of a name and a website. Like, I'm finding that the most compatible filmmakers are the ones who share the same values and like the same obsessions as the composers that I'm working with. So I've been trying to dig more into that. All of this has really confirmed my guiding philosophy of connection first, composing second. If you've taken my gig hunting kit course, like, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what that is, like, you can check it out if you want. And I talked to another composer recently about this, and he said it a different way, which I thought was so funny. Do good shit with good people, basically. With cool people. And like, it just moves the needle so much more than like, which filmmakers are like on the rise and which ones have like the budget and they're going to the studios, like, watch out Hollywood, here I come. Like, that's not really what I'm looking for. It's more like, just make friends and meet good people and do cool things, At the end of the day, like, not every composer is going to, it's not going to make sense for them to have this service and like work with me. But I'm finding that the composers I'm most excited about are the ones who understand the journey that I took to get here and like make the service, and also value the same things as me, like doing this the right way, meeting people, networking, getting work the right way. And what I mean by the right way is not using people to further your career. It sounds like so basic and like kind of common sense, but I, over the years, have learned to take fewer shots, but like make them really count. And I honestly like stopped keeping track of how many films I worked on and like how many filmmakers I've met. But it's like the number of people I've met and like worked with is probably close to 100. Like even people that like I've talked to and have told me that they're interested in what I do. Like there's just so many people and it's hard to keep track. I don't know where I'm going with this, but like meeting people for me was like never the problem. It was meeting the right people. And I'm finding that the composers that are struggling with this are the ones who struggle to even make that leap and like meet others and believe that someone can be interested in them. I've definitely struggled with like self-esteem and like imposter syndrome, but I think I've always been like so caught up in my own imagination and my excitement for things that I've kind of stopped paying attention to those thoughts of like, oh, I'm nobody, I'm just a little composer, like I don't know what I'm doing, like oh my gosh, this person wants to work with me, no way, like I don't deserve it, like whatever. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't think what I've been doing, like meeting filmmakers and like helping other people do that, is anything special. Like the tools are available to everyone. Like if you're watching this video, you have internet. If you have internet, you probably have a smartphone of some kind. You have social media. You probably have some way of making music. That's all you need. The rest is like, the rest is in your heart and soul. No one can tell you how to connect with art and like feel feelings, like you just do, because you're human, right? Or are you an alien? I don't know. It sounds so stupid and so simple, but literally just being myself, my dorky old self, and making things I like and getting excited and reaching out to people that are doing things that excite me, like that has done so much more than trying to learn, you know, all the things that I think a professional composer needs to know. Like, honestly, all those things, they will come in time. And they will come in time by doing things, not sitting alone in front of your computer, typing, tapping away at your MIDI mock-ups. It's about people and opening your heart to people. Yeah. So cheesy. By the way, we're here because my husband is home. It's a holiday week and I'm not gonna record a YouTube video in my corner and disturb the peace. I will quietly talk to myself here in the corner of our bedroom. I tried to make it look nice. I hope you like it. Okay, I'll see you next time. Check out this music. This was the music that was recorded at the recording session. Hope you like it. Okay, bye.